Bronze here, coming to you live from San Marcos in California. Hope you're all having a super fantastic, sparkling evening. Welcome to Porch Light Letter podcast number 2287, Grace in the Countdown. So we've had a very eventful day, but I only have two sleeps to go. Two sleeps to go, and I still got a little bit of work to do, but I've got a solution. So let's see, where do we start? Start this morning where I woke up and had a text message from the middle son where I was supposed to be tonight to say that his middle son is sick. He had 102 fever and coughing, um, and they said, if you want to come, you're welcome to, but you run the risk of catching whatever it is that he has. And I was sort of like, yeah, that as tough a decision as it was, and I wouldn't get to see it. It means I wouldn't get to see my three grandsons. I'm almost out of battery. We're going to go fast. The warning hasn't come up, but it's getting close. So I made the difficult decision not to go over there because I didn't want to be exposed to whatever it was, because I didn't want to carry it on the plane, and then I didn't want to take it into New Zealand and go into New Zealand with it, with whatever it is that he has. So made the decision to stay here another night and leave from here in the morning and head up to LA. So yeah, Los Angeles bound tomorrow, one night in LA, and then I'm flying home. Yes, it is. It is this close. It is within this really, really close. So that was my first eventful thing of the morning. Got the kids all ready for school. While they were playing, they get up, get dressed, have breakfast, brush their teeth, that sort of stuff. And then they have enough time to go and play before they have to leave for school. So before they left for school, the dog got one of the kids' snacks, which was a chocolate granola. All I know is it had chocolate granola bar. And I was like, oh my gosh, dogs and chocolate, not a good mix. So I took off after the dog, got him cornered upstairs, got her cornered upstairs, and went to reach for the granola bar, and she started growling at me. So I whipped my arm up, but not quick enough, and she managed to grab onto my arm, and yeah, we got a puncture wound there by one of her eye teeth. And I was just sort of like out, and the kids were downstairs like watching all of this going on. And the oldest one was in the middle of yelling when all of this happened that she'll go after you if you go after her food, which by then his warning was too late. And so I just very calmly stood there and looked at my arm and went, I have a hole. Now, how deep is this? Now I'm thinking through my head, how deep is this hole? Hasn't nicked anything. Do I need to go to the emergency room? Well, if I go to the emergency room, then I have to report, then they report the dog bite. And I don't want that to happen to the dog because she's such a sweet, sweet dog. And I understand she was protecting her food. Totally get that. And I thought I got my hand out of the way quick enough, but I didn't. So I'm like walking around with my arm, you can't really see, with my arm like this so that no blood would go. And it wasn't bleeding heavily or anything. It was just starting to pull on my arm. And I thought, yes, I need to get a compress on this. Quick. And so went downstairs. The oldest one came up, found me some Band-Aids. They're just little tiny things. So I said, no, I need to clean this out first. And so I went down, ran it under some filtered water, put a paper towel on it and just had it as a compress for about 20 minutes. Had a look at it and thought, yep, okay, we've got it under control. We're doing good. I am not panicking. I am totally chill. When I'm in emergency situations, I go ice. I don't panic, which is a good thing. And especially in front of kids, if I wanted to scream and yell and all that, I just had to keep it in. And the kids are busy telling the dog off and all that. And says, no, leave her alone. Just leave her. And she kind of put herself in timeout for like the next couple of hours. So I came down here. I had some essential oils with me. So I thought, I hope I have my Hale Chrysanthemum, because that is the one for the blood, for the bleeding, to help stop the bleeding. And so I got some of that. I didn't have any carrier oil with me, but there was olive oil, next best thing. Put a drop of that into a spoon with a drop of the Hale Chrysanthemum, and just applied that around the wound. And then these little flying things around, and they're eating me. And put that there, did the compress, and just let it sit in the air for a bit. And then I found these big Band-Aid things, which went over the whole area. Then before I put it on, I put some of the Hale Chrysanthemum on the pad and put a drop into the open wound. Now there's an open wound. It was like about this wide apart. The sides were. Now if I poke in this, look at the sides here now. it's almost closed up, which is awesome. That I tell you, that Helichrysanthem is amazing. If you want to, for me to stop the bleed, it wasn't a big bleed. It was just a minor bleed, and it worked very, very well for that. So I was very thankful I had some on, and I think I emptied my bottle because I didn't have a lot left in the bottle. And I think I might have to get some more when I get to New Zealand because it's awesome stuff. And so I got the kids off to school, and the dog just sort of like she would curl up. She was curled up in the corner there, and she'd just like look at me and kind of just wag her tail just a little bit and go, "It's okay, it's okay." And I kept talking to her, and I would walk up and pet her and say, "Hey, we're good. It's okay. I totally understand. Totally my fault for reaching for something that you were chomping on." Um, and it took her a couple of hours before she approached me. Every time I had to get up and walk around, I went over to her and petted her and told her that everything was okay. And it took her a couple of hours before she actually started approaching me, and she would do it very cautiously. And she was very gentle with me throughout the day. And even when she wanted to play, she was very gentle and very cautious about it. So it's almost like she was making sure that I was okay with her, she was okay with me, and everybody was okay. Then later on, so I couldn't really do a lot with my arm at that point because of where it was, and lifting things with my right hand made it difficult because it would start the bleeding again. So I had to not do anything much today. But I did manage to go out later on this afternoon and got my pictures sent down to New Zealand. It did not cost me $700. Thank goodness for that. It was under $300, which was awesome. And they were, but I had to talk the girl through it because I wanted to ship it DHL, which I knew from the app that I have for DHL what it was going to cost to send that down, and she wasn't getting anywhere near that. And then I realized that the box was like miles too big. My pictures were 20 inches in length, 20 inches in length and 16 inches tall, and together the two of them were less than 4 inches with the two of them together, even with the padding in between them. And so I said to her, I said, you must have a smaller box. So that box is way too big. And you're putting that big size in there, which is making the price more expensive. I want the box to fit the pictures, not the pictures floating around in a box full of a whole bunch of packing that it doesn't need. And so then she went and found another box. It was 24 inches long, 16, and it fitted the pictures in there, but it was like too deep. So where I only needed like about 4 inches, this thing was like 15 inches. I said, I said, that's still too big. She says, we'll cut that down so it fits. And I'm like, okay. So she agreed to cut the box down, and then change the measurements inside the thing, and we got it down to the right price. But it didn't actually go on DHL. It went on something called Mostis with two O's. Mostis, I think it's called. And Mostis is actually a thing from UPS because it had UPS on the label. I'm like, why does it have UPS on there, not DHL? She's like, because Mostis is part of UPS. And I said, so why didn't the UPS store quote me that price yesterday? And she's like, I don't know. I'm like, if it's one of their subsidiaries, they should. So if you go to the UPS store and they're quoting you outrageous prices, ask them if they can send it Mostis, since Mostis is part of UPS because it has UPS written on the label. But you still got to go to the Mostis site to track it. So I thought that was kind of weird, but we got it done. We got it paid for, and my pictures are on their way. They'll be in New Zealand in 5 to 10 business days. And I've got the tracking number and all that stuff. So that was that job done. Yes. So when I got back, I went looking for my traveling scales because they weren't in the bedroom here. So they must have still been in the stuff in the car. And so I went out the car, I found them and found a couple of other bits and pieces that I needed to make sure were in suitcases. And so I came back in, and with the suitcases as they are now, I did the weight thing. Now I'm allowed 30 kilograms per checked bag, which is 66 pounds, about 66 pounds. These were coming in at, well, of course, my littlest one, which is kind of a carry-on size, that was coming in at like 8 kilograms. But the other 3 bags were coming in around 15 to 17 kilograms. And I was like, these bags are like jam-packed full of clothes and are coming in super light. So I thought, I definitely have to take some of the clothes out, ship the clothes because they'll be a lighter weight, and I can put some of the heavier stuff in there to boost that up and take up some more of the space in there. So yeah, that's going to be a job I'm going to have to do like tomorrow, at some point tomorrow. It has a Fiji tag on it. Huh, it must have been the bag I took home with me in 2018. Christmas 2018 when I flew home Fiji Airways. I just realized that my suitcase has a Fiji tag on it. Oh, and I also, last night I had I think I talked about this last night. I had an email from Fiji Airways about my flight, and they had an app that you had to download in order to do your arrival forms for New Zealand. So my arrival forms have all been filled out and submitted, and all I have to do is show up with my passport. And once I scan my passport, my entry forms will be my arrival forms will all be there. And they've already told me that I'm to go to the bio eco line because I've declared food. So here's a little tip. So this little tip is always carry food with you and declare it. Because if you forget that you have something in your bag, they will pull you out and you'll get extra screening. But I always carry commercial stuff. Like I've got tea, chocolate. I've already written down what the list of food is. And so they've already told me to go to the bio line when I disembark in Wellington, walk in with my passport, go through immigrations, pick up my suitcase, and when it comes to going through customs, go to the eco line, and that way they will clear me because I've declared I have food. And most of the time I've gotten through the lines faster than those who declare they have nothing to declare. I always declare food. Always make sure I have some with me. Always have, always will. And when I tell them I've got candy, they say, oh, you didn't need to declare that. I said, it said food. It did not specify if you have this, 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 or this. It just said food. Do you have any food with you? I have food. Yes, it's candy. But so they sort of like, you're right. So I have already been told that's what I have to do. And of course, everything's on the app on the phone. And I can go in, and if there's different food that I'm taking with me, I can go and enter that as well. So it's been an adventure of a day. I didn't get a lot done. So yeah, tomorrow's going to be interesting. I think I'm going to unpack some of these bags and kind of repack them a little bit. I still have to go by the bank too, because I got a whole bunch of coins that I don't want to take to the US, don't want to take to New Zealand with me, and they're heavy. So I need to go deposit all my coins, but I have to roll the coins before I'm allowed to deposit. This is the thing with my bank. They will not take any coins unless they're in the rolls. They don't take loose change. They only take what's in rolls. So I have to go, I've got a pile of loose change that I need to go through. And so I'm going to do that tonight, roll that. So when I go to the bank in the morning, I can hand across the rolls and hopefully, fingers crossed, not have much change left over. But that'll be a big weight out of that bag. And then that bag is going to have a change of clothes put in there. It'll have my little bag of toiletries. And then my backpack will have the computer in there and my little, where is it? I know I put it somewhere. My little thing that goes over the tray. I've shown it a couple of times. It's the airplane pocket, and it goes over the tray table. So when you put the tray table down, you've got a cloth there. And then when you hold it up, it's got a cloth, but then it's got your pockets there where you can put your book and your chapstick and your oils and your headphones and all that sort of stuff that you want to read or do, that you want access to during the flight. I will have I will put my Breathe oil, because I always put the Breathe just here, as it helps not dry out the sinuses so much, but it keeps the airways open. I will also have some lavender as well, because that helps me relax. What else am I going to have? I have my chapstick in there. What else do I put in there? My book, yet to be determined. I have my little wipes. My little wipes look like white round tablets that are about this big. You just add water to them and they expand, and you now have a wet cloth. So I will have a couple of those in my thing. What else do I put in there? I put my water bottle in there as well. So I'll have my water bottle on the plane with me, of course, empty, going through the thing in that. The thing that I'm concerned about, though, on Thursday is that Fiji Airways say they don't open the counters until 3 hours before the flight departs. But TSA is also on this is extra busy because they have people not showing up, and it's taking a lot longer to get through the lines. And so I want to get there early to get through the lines, but I also have to I can't do it 3 hours before the flight. So maybe I can, maybe I can't. We shall see. And hopefully the lines won't be as bad to get through. Some of the airports are closing down, like the TSA pre-check lines are getting closed down because they don't have the manpower to man those lines and putting everybody through general. When I flew to Denver a couple of weeks ago, it was really weird because the lane over here had to take off their shoes, take the computers out, take the liquids out. The lane I was in, nothing. Just put your bag in the container, take your jacket off, leave your shoes on, leave the computers in there, leave your liquids in there. Everything had to go through in a bin. And then this lane over here was also doing the strip down. But my lane was, and then when I came back from Denver, every lane was put everything in a bin, leave your shoes on, walk on through. You just had to take off anything metal. And if you had a belt buckle on or something like that, that was the only thing they're asking you to remove. But laptop stayed in the bag. The quart bags with all your liquids in stayed in my backpack. And I just had to put one bag in each bin, and that was it. Get the other side, pick up my bags and go. I didn't have to take my shoes off or anything. It was kind of nice. So I'm kind of hoping it's going to be like that too, because they were getting people through so much faster that way. Yeah, a lot faster. And then they were selecting people to go from one particular scanner over to the, and I got told I had to go to the scanner, the one where you have to put your arms up like this. The other one was just the straight metal detector, and they says, "Oh, you've been selected to go through that scanner over there." I says, "Okay, thank you." And it was funny because 3 people in front of me had all been selected to go to that scanner over there as well. So you've been randomly selected. And I'm like looking at him, and like the last 3 people in front of me had all been randomly selected to go to the other lane, go to the other scanner machine, but whatever. And got through that, no problem at all. So it'll be interesting to see what happens on Thursday with TSA, especially for the international flights and stuff as well. So I'm going to be keeping an eye on that all day because I would like to get to the airport about 4 hours before my flight departs. I have no issue getting to an airport early and getting through security, because then once I'm through security, I can relax. I can go find my book. I can fill up my water bottle. I can walk. And there's been times that I have, let's see, the last time I went down on a flight to New Zealand via Fiji, I basically I think I just had a backpack as a carry-on. And I walked the terminal. I just walked backwards and forwards, did the circuit. I don't know how many steps I did, but I did that for about an hour. I stopped off at a couple of stores and had a look at things. So it was really good and a lot of fun. So I'm looking forward to seeing, because last time I was in there, there's a lot of renovations being done to the Bradley terminal. So I'm interested to see what changes have been made since I was last there, and it was 6 years ago. So anyway, with that, I am out of here. Go out, have a super fantastic sparkling evening, and I will catch you guys sometime